Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. It is the 12th of October 2018. There's only two things I want to talk about. First is to do with depression. I'm having one of those days where I just wish I could get back into bed and sleep. I remember those days when I was at college. I'm just thinking, like, there's no reason for me to be depressed. I shouldn't be depressed when I have life, because it's meant to be the most beautiful thing, isn't it? I'm looking outside, I can see the trees swaying in the wind. It looks so beautiful out there, and yeah, I'm depressed because of personal circumstances and all this stuff as well, you know. The fact, I wrote this poem called I'm a Child. I've read it out on the other podcast thing I do on this Anchor FM, and I'll put it on YouTube as well, on John Doe Poems. Just about, as a child speaking, it was me as the child. What came into my head, I was thinking about, you know, whose fault it is that of all these things that are around me. And well, it's not my fault, is it? Because I never created this system that we live in. It's those before me. It's not even my parents' fault. But I just wanted to talk about the subject of complacency and apathy. And it is a great human failing. We all moan about things and cry about things. I do it myself as well. I'm not immune to this failing of humanity, whether it's taught or whether it is actually part of us. We're just not doing anything about it. We all know that the world we live in is not that great. Even those that, you know, are wearing rose-tinted glasses must see the suffering of people, even the people in their own countries, if not other countries where they're worse off than us. The unfairness and inequality of it all, and for those that do see it and feel it, it's like in the poem I say about, you know, people often complain about not having any power. But we are the only power there is. We create power. We are a power. I guess it's the problem of the way that we've been brought up in the system of authority, and we're just the little people. And maybe it's that because we've been trained to think of ourselves as powerless, as it were, that we don't realise that we actually are the power itself. I guess maybe it's also the fact that if you're just one person, you can't go against 7 billion, so-called 7 billion. It's just the idea that all of this stuff, even those that can see that it's not true, that it doesn't seem to be changing. There's no magic wand to change this system, to create a better life or world for us all. We all just have to stick with it and keep trying to chip away at it, but it's like chipping away at the world's forest and you've just got your fingernails. Great analogy. I have to stick that in a poem. And just, you know, I think I feel it, you know, I often talk about these things because, you know, I'm feeling from my own personal circumstances that I am the little man, as it were. You know, I don't have a great job, I don't have a great income. I have a great family, yeah, I'd say, you know, love that's free. I have that in abundance. And, you know, you could argue I'm the luckiest because I have that. I have a great wife, I have great children, I have health. So yeah, I have a lot to be happy for. But it's just the system that I live within makes it impossible, you know. We all grow up dreaming to want our own house. You know, our parents lived in a house and you want a house, but it's impossible in this day and age. You know, if you're on a low income or if you're on benefits or anything like that, this is impossible. You try and Google things and all you get is word fucking salad of people who just write websites just to talk about things in plain fact. It's, you know, don't really answer the question that you really want to get to. It's like, how do you possibly get a mortgage? The thing is that my worry is for my twins. that if I'm struggling to get a mortgage and I'm finding it's even, I'm paying more in rent than I would in a mortgage, but I can never prove a mortgage because, they will say, well, this has to be 3 times your salary. But wait a minute, you do realise that I had actually paid less fucking money if I had a mortgage rather than rent. I'm paying someone else's house. But that's the economy that this system wants to keep running. But it's impossible. And I've lost where my twins, that, it's getting more and more expensive to rent now. It's getting more expensive to rent than mortgage, but I can still manage just about to do that, even though you have to jump through their hoops, improve things and this, that and the other, and they expect you to be perfect. They expect your bank balance to have no minuses on it, no overdraft, no nothing like that. Oh my goodness. Don't they know that every fucking person in this country is using credit? That's been allowed. When my parents were trying to get houses, it was difficult to get a mortgage. I doubt they even it was difficult to get credit cards. Nowadays, they give them out. They give them, when you become a student, they even though they know that you're getting a grant that you're going to have to pay back, they send you, a Barclay card. They want everyone to be able to spend, because spending is economy, and then there's not enough money around, so they have to create it, and they create it through credit. That's why everyone has so much credit. We don't have enough money to issue all this credit out. But that's the way the system works. So my twins, they're probably going to struggle to even rent. I just hope that I am able to get a house at one time so that I can leave it to them and they don't have to struggle like I had to struggle. But the thing is, everyone's living longer now, so they'll just have to live with me, won't they? But I don't care about that. I just feel sorry for, and I'm moaning about this, but then imagine the people who live in so-called third world countries that are being kept in that state by us, by the elite countries, the first world countries, and by this system that, where we're all the same bloody thing, but we want to cut ourselves up and make some people richer and some people poorer, some people happy and some people suffering. Imagine how they're living. And here's me moaning about things. But at least I have health, at least I have certain things that they could, that like I'm dreaming of having a house, they're dreaming of having just these things that I actually take granted for, as it were. It's so fucking unfair when you look at all these things. And yet who can say that they can't see the truth of this, that we're all humans, we're all one species. They categorize us by all different ways, but we're all the same. Why is there some of us suffering and some of us happy? Why are we not all happy? And the other thing I was thinking about today is like my name, who I am, going back on that video, previous podcast I made, the YouTube one, which is, I'm not John Doyle. Well, I'm not John Doyle anyway, it's not my real name, that's a nom de plume, it's a pen name for my poems. My actual name is Horace Gary Maguire, but I'm not him either really, because my parents named me. I was born not knowing who I am. To quote Doctor who am I? Because I don't really know who I am. My parents gave me a name, my parents taught me, my parents made me, the society made me, the system made me. All the things around me that are part of me have all come from outside. My likes, my desires, my wishes, my thoughts, my way of life, my language, the things I do, all these things are all around me that I've assimilated, absorbed, become. But who really am I? Because I have an identity, but that identity was given to me, wasn't it? It's weird that when you think about that none of us really know who we really are, unless you could just argue that we become, that's just part of the process, that's just the way that we are blank sheets, and then we make ourselves. Maybe I'm being a bit metaphysical, I don't know. It just came across in my head. Maybe it sounded better than it just sounded like something to say, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to go back to being depressed, and you can carry on doing what you're going to do. Okay. As ever, take care, Take it easy. God bless and peace.